One of the best reroll comps of set 10, any SPELLWEAVERS, is a devastating early aggression comp. If you like to play strong early boards, then this is the video for you. Let's break it down. To start the early game, you want to open with Annie and either 3 Superfan or 3 SPELLWEAVER. It's possible to have both by level 5 if Annie is a SPELLWEAVER headliner, but if you get an emo headliner, then just continue to play as normal until you're able to fit everything in. Now, a couple of important things to note. You do not want to spend any gold on leveling until after you get Annie 3-star. The board you see on screen is what you should have by level 5. On the bottom right is both Gragas and Seraphine. By level 5, you can only fit one, so choose whichever you fit first. But Seraphine is the preferred unit. Lastly, if you have to choose between fielding 3 Superfans or 3 SPELLWEAVERS, always play Superfans first. This is because they're excellent frontline and provide you with a solid damage item early. Now, to hit Annie 3-star, there are 2 main options. First, you can save all of your gold on stage 2, then on stage 3-1, roll all the way down to 0 gold hoping to find Annie 3-star. With luck, you can also get Kennen and Lilia 3-star. This method works best when you find a ton of natural Annies and other key units in your early shops. Superfans are usually contested, however, so if you can only get Annie, then just take your carry and move on. The second method is to slow roll at level 5 until you've hit Annie 3-star. Once you've done this, it's time to push levels and move on. Now, from the mid game onward, you want to spend excess gold leveling to add units, only rolling gold if you have several pairs on your bench. Remember last section when I told you Seraphine was the preferred choice over Gragas? This is because at the first chance you get, you want to replace Gnar with Nico to give you 3 KDA. From there, you want to continue on to level 6, 7, and 8 to add Echo, Lulu, and Gragas. If you have an emo headliner, then you have a free 2 emo at this point. But if you have a SPELLWEAVER headliner, the board on screen will put you at 6 SPELLWEAVERS by level 8. You can simply swap Gragas for a Mumu to give you the 2 emo you're missing. Lastly, at level 8, you can swap out Seraphine for Ari whenever you find her. But that isn't a super priority, so don't spend gold looking for her. Instead, continue leveling. Now in the late game, you should spend most of your gold pushing to level 9 to find legendaries. Then finally level 10 once you 2-star some of your late game units. Now the 2 mandatory legendaries to play are Sona and Ziggs. The reasons are simple. Sona is a SPELLWEAVER, and Ziggs provides Hype Pop for mana and great backup damage. Sona has 3 choices for her spell: attack damage, healing, and shielding. And lastly, attack speed. Her default best choice is attack speed, as it also gives your units on-hit bonus magic damage. But if your frontline is weak and lacks items, then healing is a solid choice until you can fix it. Now the last legendary you can add can be Yorick, Alawi, or Kiana. Let's quickly break down when each is best. Yorick is the go-to option, as he provides the most frontline with his Guardian trait and additional minions to frontline. Alawi is excellent in situations where there's an Akali comp in the enemy lobby. I'll go into more detail in the positioning section for that. Next we have Kiana. She's only good when 2-starred, and you can afford to put an item on her while lacking items on the board. This way she can farm components for you whenever she gets a kill. Now let's cover items, augments, and positioning. For damage items, you want to build double Shojin, but if you can only get one, Nashor's Tooth or another AP item works well. Her third item will be Jeweled Gauntlet from the Superfan trait. For tank items, there's plenty to choose from this set. Warmogs, Steadfast Heart, and Ionic Spark are great universal picks. Dragon's Claw and Bramblevest are excellent depending on enemy comps. Lastly, Sunfire Cape is a good choice if you need anti-heal. Now there's tons of extra item opportunities in this comp. Red Buff or Morello is great on Ziggs to spread anti-heal and damage. Shojin on Sona, Ziggs, or Ari is great to give you a solid damage boost. Lastly, you'll need to build a Static Shiv or Ionic Spark, so don't leave that behind. Now moving on to augments, Little Buddies is an excellent choice in the late game to give your 5 and 4 cost units extra boosts for more mana casts. Next, the Golden Egg is great to reinforce your winning position. Take this whenever hot streaking or with high health to secure the top 2. Stationary Support adds immense value with both a support item and a target dummy. It's a solid take all around. Inspiring Epitaph is great to give solid stats and works like other augments like Gifts from the Fallen and Martyr. Jeweled Lotus provides an overall solid damage boost to the whole team, but it is lacking because Annie already comes with a Jeweled Gauntlet built in. Only take this if absolutely needed. Raise the Tempo is similar to Jeweled Lotus in that it provides a team-wide damage boost, but it's better as it benefits from the scaling damage with Jeweled Gauntlet's crit. Now for positioning, you always want to play around your KDA hexes. They give you a solid health boost and damage boost. Aside from that, there are a couple things to avoid. Enemy KDA Akalis are major backline threats. To avoid this, you should always have your carries on the same side as Akali, and when you have Alawi on the board, place her tentacles on the back corners when you face her. This will bait the Akali and keep her off of your Annie and Ziggs. The next backline threat is Lux. To avoid Lux, you need to put at least one bait unit in the opposite corner from her while the rest of your team is on the same side as Lux. This should allow you to dodge a couple casts until the bait unit is dead. Now for the last defensive threat is Thresh. He chains the largest clump next to him and can reach backline. To avoid this, you need to keep your carries on the opposite side of him whenever possible. Now for offensive positioning, keep your main tank in the center and Tentacles should be at the front anytime you aren't facing a KDA Akali. Next, you want to sandwich Sona between the two hyper pop units in Lulu and Ziggs. This way, she can gain extra mana quickly to cast more often. Annie doesn't need to be near a hyper pop unit, but if you can afford to do it, then it's a solid DPS buff. Did this guide help? Drop a comment and let me know how you do. Until next time, I'm Swagadelic.